beautiful people. Good afternoon or good evening. I am Mrs. Best, and we are going over the Valley. This is season 3, episode 15. Y'all, I am not feeling the hottest, so I am going to be off camera. The weather here in the Bay Area has been cold and windy and warm, but then cold. And yeah, I don't know. We're getting like wintertime weather right now, but that is okay. Welcome in. Let me know your opinions of the episode. AB is here, our regular moderator. I do appreciate you for being here. Please consider liking the video, hyping the video, sharing, subscribing, all of those good things. I do appreciate you guys for it. You said the after show was better than the episode. I was wondering, y'all, I had to pause and look at my DVR. Like, it feel like I've been watching The Valley for a minute. And I looked and the episode was like an hour and 30 minutes long thoroughly. Usually when my DVR says the episode is 90 minutes, it's because for whatever reason it will record Watch What Happens Live with stuff. But without Watch What Happens Live, this was a very long episode. Welcome in, Lexi. Happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday. I'm going to let y'all know off rip, I disagree with a lot of the other big like Bravo YouTubers and recappers of the show, specifically like Giorgio says. I love them, but I strongly disagree with a lot of people's opinions on the Valley because I feel like Janet did some stuff that irked me. We're going to get into it. I'm tired of this storyline though. I'm tired of it. At this point, I need Danny and Nia to leave the show, or I need for Bravo to do a cast mix-up. I don't know why Lala had to come back. I feel like she's causing problems that doesn't make sense. Like, I'm just kind of over it with this cast. They are making it like Vanderpump Rules toward the end, which was not watchable, in my opinion. American Boy says, thank goodness I don't have to watch the commercials. Right. Listen. Exactly. Whose birthday is it? Whose birthday is it? Am I missing a birthday? Whose birthday have I missed, y'all? Because it's not my birthday. My birthday was in May. Whose birthday is it? Because I will happily give you a big shout out. American Board says, I agree the storyline has gone on all too damn long. It has. It has. Like, at the end of the day, this is why you have to be careful when you complain about things like alcohol, because you don't know if you don't, unless the person's going to stop drinking, like you're just causing a bigger problem. But this episode, it was Danny's birthday. Oh, yes. Happy birthday to Danny. Okay. Yes, the episode was titled It's My Birthday and I'll Cry If I Want to. It is Danny's birthday. They've had quite a few birthdays out in Mexico. And Janet announces to Michelle and Brittany, she's like, well, I'm not going to go on the boat because I don't want to be on a boat again, considering what happened last year. And it's Danny's birthday anyway, so go have fun. I said, why does this lady find a way to make everything about you? Like, why are you making his birthday about you? You could go and have fun with him if you didn't talk about something he did to someone else and has already apologized for over and over. But here you are. Okay, just don't show up. Why do you have to announce it and make a whole thing? Like, that's where Janet be getting on my nerves, y'all. That's where Janet be getting on my nerves. I agree with this. She's a perpetual victim, and it's almost offensive. Like, I'm so tired of Janet. I'm so tired of her. But the rest of the group does go on a catamaran for his birthday. There's a theme. The theme is Miami Vice. Only a few people got it right. What's going on with the new generation? Y'all don't know what Miami Vice is? Like, I'm so confused. I'm genuinely so confused that no one really knew what Miami Vice was. I don't think that's an age thing. I mean, especially anyone who like GTA Vice City, i.e. Miami. But okay, I'll digress. But Zach and Jasmine have a talk on the boat, and they speak about the fact that they don't like how Kristen said that when she was discussing how everyone's complaining about Danny, Kristen made the point of, well, look at Brittany. Brittany's a hot mess. Look at Jasmine. She's a hot mess. Look at Zach. He's a hot mess. And they are a hot mess drunk. I mean, in the last episode, while on a rooftop double-decker bus, Zach, who knows that he's very tall, decided to stand up and got hit in the head with a street light that I'm sure he could have saw coming if he was sober. So yes, these people are a hot mess, just as freaking Danny is. I'm just not understanding it. And I don't understand why they have to have this conversation. It's like anytime something comes up, Jasmine's like, yep, you need to be on my side. You need to do this. And it's like, Jasmine, please. Because you say that you have forgiven Danny for what he did, putting his hand on Melissa and saying, who's your daddy and stuff. You talked to him. He apologized for it. Your friend keeps bringing it up. Like, y'all don't have a reason to be upset. Like, please go somewhere with the foolery. Lexi Ling said, poor Janet. Janet can go to HE double hockey sticks, okay? Janet is not a victim. She wants to be, but she's not. Miami Vice should be known by everyone. Exactly. Especially as Americans. Come on. Now, I am going to say Nia is really trying to keep Danny from saying something dumb while he is drinking. She is. And I still stand by my statement. Danny is stupid to continue drinking in this group. If someone accuses you of having an alcohol problem, and in addition to being accused of having an alcohol problem, this is all fueled by something that he did do while drinking, because married, you should not be putting your hand on anybody that's not your partner asking who your daddy is. You just should not. So it's like he did something which gave them like fuel to the fire. You know they're looking for a problem. Just don't drink in the group. I'm sure they have other friends. Like, I don't understand why Danny does that. And that's why I'm not really on anyone's side. I don't like Lala, Brittany, Janet, Jason. I don't like what they're doing, weaponizing his drinking. But then I also don't feel like I can defend Danny or Nia, because it's like the simple solution would be to not drink. But it seems like drinking is so important that y'all are doing it. I've gone on vacation and not drank. I've gone to Mexico and not had alcohol. You can have a fun time sober. And if you can't, then you need to reflect that something's wrong. But the group is crazy. Danny does keep doing it to himself as well. They should leave the show, but I think they need the check. They get checks from other streams. Like a couple people have mentioned their kids are like child actors and on the show. And then Nia gets a lot of deals because she is a former Miss America or USA, whatever the terminology is. But it's California. I'm sure their mortgage is heavy. I'm sure their property tax in California is insane. Okay, it is absolutely insane. So I'm sure that they need the money, but it's ridiculous. AB says, I wouldn't drink in Mexico anyway. They'd be unaliving people with that ethanol. You can drink safely in Mexico. You just have to really pay attention to like where you're at. Like, honestly, when I was in Mexico, I didn't really drink outside of the hotel zone because I went to the Cancun area. I did spend some time in Puerto Moritos. It's like over kind of going toward Tulum, but just drink at your hotel or like in the restaurants and stuff near the hotels. It's safer than just taking any type of drink. What's poppin', Q1J Welcome in. I hope your day is going good. Q1J as well as Life with Leisha TV, aka Black Girls Den podcast. They will be interviewing someone from the Peacock show Girls Need Love tomorrow. Tap in, you guys. She set it up on her channel. I will also be sharing it, and I will be watching. Very, very great job, Q1. I'm proud of you. You're getting shit done. Hello, Dr. Jen. Hello. She said, I'm just popping up all over the place. Listen, a pop-up is always a good thing when the good doctor's visiting, okay? I'm never mad at a pop-up. Hello, Vibe. Welcome in. Another great creator. Tap into Vibe X185. Hi, y'all. But Janet and these people, they stressing me out. We can talk about the same thing for 15 weeks. We're on episode 15, which is absolutely insane. And I'm sure Kiwan appreciates this, AB. Because I have not watched an episode either of Girls Need Love. I rarely open my Peacock app, which is really sad. Rarely open my Peacock app, but there's a lot of good shows that are on Peacock. Speaking of Peacock, I will be covering Married at First Sight again. It is back on the 12th, which I think is a Sunday. So I will get that review out to you guys next week. Definitely an exciting time. Can't wait to hear the interview. Yes. hype her up, hype her up. We will all be in the chat and we gonna behave. We gonna behave. um After Zach and Jasmine have their stupid little talk, Janet and Lala have a talk privately because, you know, Lala decided to stay back with her. And I kind of feel like that was the kinder thing to do. I will give Lala a plus for that, just because you don't want to just leave your friends alone. And then separately from that, her husband's not there with her. And Lala doesn't drink. So what's the point in you going on this boat when you're just going to comment on Danny not drinking while you're sober? Like, you know? But Janet and Lala have a talk, and Janet basically says that Nia is doubting and questioning her character. And I'm like, how is Nia doubting and questioning your character? You have literally said that her husband's an alcoholic because when he gets drunk, he gets belligerent. Some people who never drink can have a drink and get belligerent. Now, two things can be true. Danny can do too much when drunk, but that doesn't mean you insinuate that he's an alcoholic. Now, if you was leaning into him just being a creep or something, fine. But you trying to call him an alcoholic, SA, and creep, and you cannot do all of that at one time. But Janet then mentions a time when she was in school. I'm assuming when she was in high school or college, but I'm assuming when she was younger. She says that she went to school and there was a situation with a boy who put his hands on her. She says that it was not consensual, but she was too afraid to speak up. So she just laid there and allowed what happened to happen to her. She says that the hookup was not consensual, which means that it was SA. And she says that because of this, I guess it got out at her school and everybody kind of looked at her as if she was a bop, like a loose girl and got around. Now, I want to say that I've been a victim of SA. I've gone through that myself. My friend had me go to the cops recently, literally a week before my birthday. I had to participate in a parole hearing for the person who assaulted me. And so it is something that always impacts you. And I am empathetic to what she's going through because I've actually gone through it. However, I think it's important to understand that you are trying to compare your experience with SA and make it to where your behavior toward Danny is okay because of your experience. Just because you got SA'd doesn't make it okay for you to have said the things that you said about Danny, and it doesn't give you a pass on apologizing to him. So I don't understand why Janet thinks that because she was SA, she don't have to apologize. Now, if Danny had did that to Janet, I would feel different and be like, I understand how that could be a trigger. But the fact that nothing has happened to Janet, she is literally throwing a fit over something that happened to Jasmine and Melissa that they have already discussed with him, that he has continued to apologize for and said he will always apologize for it because he feels bad, has nothing to do with Janet. She just stepped into that. So I felt like she used what happened to her as a way to get the audience to like her. And I'm not going to lie, it pissed me the fuck off because I actually am a victim of SA. It tears me up and fucks with me to this day. And I find it offensive that somebody is going to conveniently mention that now, when if that was really the case, she would have said something last season or hinted to it. I know everybody talks in their own ways and brings stuff up on their own time, but she is using something negative that happened to her to manipulate the audience and the group, in my opinion, off of some shit that didn't even happen to her because she can't admit that she was wrong. She can't admit that she was wrong. It's like, if you can't apologize to Jenny to his face because of your trigger, fine. But at least acknowledge in your confessional or something like, you know, I know that I said and did too much, but I'm just not going to be able to say anything to him. That's all she had to do, you know. But I don't like how Janet moves and what she did. But at the same time, nobody deserves to go through that. So I'm happy to hear that her mother did the right thing and got her help. But I don't know. It sounds like she still need a lot of therapy, because you say you have anger towards men, but it seems your anger is not towards men. You're okay with Jason. You're okay with Jesse, who gets drunk and does too much. You're okay with Zach. You were okay around Jax Taylor, but you're not around Danny. So that's why I'm like, I feel like this lady is using that to manipulate people. And I really don't like it. I really don't like it. And Janet, you better hope something really happened to you, because if the world finds out that you lied about something as vicious as SA, or even if it did happen to you, if the world finds out that you only disclosed that information so that people would feel sorry for you, girl, you ain't gonna come back from it. But Janet, to me, I was like, okay, I'm done with this lady. Kiwan says, as for Girls Need Love on Peacock, you guys, she says it's 6 episodes, 30 minutes. That's not too bad. I'll probably look into it. Because I've been looking for some new shows to watch, not to cover, but like just to watch and enjoy. Oh, you love Married at First Sight. Hey, I love that. We will be covering that. I believe James will be joining me for that. He really enjoys relationship shows. So James will be joining me for that, just as he did last season. But I'm hoping this season is better. I know Dr. Pepper and much of the OG doctors are gone now. We are gonna behave for Kiwan. We gonna behave and come in our Sunday best, y'all. In front of company, right? We can't scare them off. Danny pissed me off when he said to Nia, "Don't forget my birthday bounce house," and she said something, and he told her to figure it out. Like, really? That's the other thing. I'm gonna get at him, because even though I don't like what Janet is doing specifically, Danny's been an asshole. I'm so tired of Danny. He is not like, I like Nia. Not a fan of Danny. Definitely not a fan of Danny at all. He irks me. It's okay. The world is effed up. The world is effed up. The world is effed up. But shout out to the state of California for locking his ass up. Lord. I remember you telling me and you felt the way. Yes. Yeah. I see, when you actually go to therapy, you could be open with things. I'm okay. My mom is a therapist. So like, if we fell down and got a cut, she put us in therapy. Listen, I'm kind of grateful for it today, but looking back, I was like, dang, I gotta go meet this person. And Janet really had everyone speechless tonight. 1 minute we're arguing, the next she's sharing something deeply personal. That is true. Danny Bucco's birthday trip was supposed to be fun. Instead, it turned into another Bravo vacation from hell. Listen, in real life, I'm not traveling with people who act like the vibe. I'm not. I want to go on vacation with people who know how to behave. That's all. I wouldn't travel with not a one of these people. On the after show, apparently Janet kept Brittany's old implants. Huh? What? You can do that? That's weird. That's weird. I remember when I was 18, I got my tonsils and some adenoids removed, and they were like, we could put it in a jar. You want it? I was like, hell no, I don't want that shit. What am I gonna do? What? Why would I want to look at my parts in a jar? Like, what? I couldn't believe that. I looked at Sutter Health like, excuse me? Do I want it? And that man really swung my tonsils in my face. Like, aren't they cool? Look how big they were. Excuse me, sir? That doctor was wild. That doctor was wild. I was 18 too. I said, oh, he said tripping. He has lost his mind. But Janet is weird like that. So I could see her doing something like that. See, if Janet leans into stuff like how she can be funny sometimes on the after show and stops attacking Danny and Nia, she could slowly become likable or have some type of a purpose. But she attacks them and it really just turns you off of her. Vibe X said Jackson Brittany really acted like leaving would end all the drama. Please, this show was built on messy storylines. We'll still have plenty to blog about. That's right. Danny is nasty sober. He doesn't seem fun. I wouldn't say he's nasty, but he definitely does not seem fun, if that makes sense. Like, you know how everyone, like in every friend group or every like handful of people we know, there's like that one person who's in a relationship and their spouse you're not comfortable with, but the wife may be fun. I don't know why, but Danny and Nia give that. Like, I feel like sober, he's just not a good time and probably doesn't care for these people. And because they say drunken mind and sober thoughts. I believe that being drunk just heightens how we are naturally. So I don't know. But Danny, can't nobody defend him. The way he talks to his wife is crazy. I'd be wanting to come through the TV and snatch him up. I really do. That's why I was cracking up when Lala called him, what did she say? Peter something look-alike. The way he speaks to his wife is freaking atrocious, though. It irritates me all the time. I wish my husband would speak to me that way, okay? I would have him like Helen had Charles in Diary of a Mad Black Woman. You're not going to talk to me crazy. I will push you in the bathtub and make you eat while shivering. Like, do not come for me. Lord. Janet is a fan. She will one day be trying to resell that stuff. You know what? That makes it creepier. That makes it creepier. That makes it creepier. Oh God, you are correct. Lexi, I am livid with Danny for speaking this way to his wife, especially when your wife is spending her time defending you with a baby hooked to her titty. She's still postpartum, but even if she wasn't postpartum, the way he speaks to his wife is not okay. And I hope everybody understands that. Like the way that Danny talks to Nia and treats her in public is crazy because Nia always sticks beside her husband and understands that they're a united front, but Danny will leave her just blowing in the wind. And I'm like, separate from anything with Janet and them, like, why are you doing your wife this way when that's the person that's on your side? He's just a raggedy man sometimes, my word. But moving on, Michelle and Lacey, they have a talk, and it seems like Michelle is like finally willing to be open with Lacey because she realizes that Lacey's around to filming and all of these things. I think it's weird to tell your exes next that you're upset that he's more affectionate with her than he was with you. I just think that's a little weird to tell your exes next. Maybe it's me. Maybe I don't know much, but Michelle, can you talk to us about Dr. Dre? Why are you going and leaning into Jesse and this lady? You don't have no control over who he dates. You finally gonna get your divorce. You took on the debt. Like, I don't need to see her get cool with Lacey. Like, I would like to see them cordial, but they don't need to be cool. I also don't trust Lacey. The way she moves is weird, but that could just be me. But Michelle and Lacey, I guess they make peace. Lacey then decides to tell Jesse that Michelle is hurting and that, you know, she and Michelle made peace and kind of came to the conclusion that, you know, it's okay. They're going to move forward, all this stuff. And Jesse said something crazy like, I don't care if she's sad. I don't care if she has a hard time. And Lacey's like, don't you talk about her like that. Listen, Lacey, I don't get it. So last season, you refused to film. We're throwing a literal Karen fit with production. You sent cease and desist to members of the cast and threatened to sue them for even mentioning your name. Now we see you on television. You're here this season. You're willing to film with them. And you're not on Jesse's side for nothing. Like, I feel like Lacey is with Jesse because she wants to be on TV. Because why would a woman of her stature that was trying out for Housewives of Orange County decide to be with a man whose card declines for a $500 USD all-inclusive in Puerto Vallarta? Like, I just don't see it. I genuinely do not see it. But I think Lacey's with this man so that she can be on television. She said, if I can't get on Housewives, she said, I'm leaving here with something. She said, I'm getting somewhere. And now she's on this show. But I just think it's weird to check your man so publicly in front of everyone. Like, I'm pro girl too. Like, if my husband were to say some crazy stuff, I'd be like, we're not going to come for women like that unless you have a vagina you don't understand. But I'm not going to, like, publicly come at him, like, on TV in front of my friends. Like, Lacey moves so weird. So weird. And it's crazy. It's crazy that it's not seen. Now, Jesse also ended up telling Kristen that Luke mentioned that there's a possibility of there not being a marriage, which I appreciated because Kristen needed to hear that. Because anybody who's known Kristen since season 1 of VPR, you know that Kristen is hashtag team do too much. Kristen crashes out and then comes back later. Like, I don't think she means no harm, but she does too much and then she comes back later. And Jesse pretty much lets Kristen know, like, you have to understand that you're going through something, but at the same time, so is he. He's also a new parent. He's also trying to navigate. He's also trying to do all of this away from his family. So you can't just make it all about you. You have to come down to his level as well. I felt like Jesse was coming from a good place and was trying to help, but I also feel like Jesse was messy. It's not your place to go and talk to Kristen and Luke about what's going on. I actually think once you're over 30, I don't need my friends to be helping me and my partner, boyfriend, whatever it is. I don't need my friends to be chiming in and trying to help. Like, at some point, grow up. But I do think Jesse was coming from a good place. I do think that. And I do feel like Kristen ignores Luke's needs a little bit, but she's a new mom. It's her first kid. I think she's struggling really bad with postpartum. And separate from that, Kristen had other stuff she was working on. But when Lacey hears from Jesse that he told this to Kristen, Lacey checked him. She was like, why would you do this? This is so messy. Now I'm going to have to hear argument. Now, I said, I will agree with Lacey there, but I just don't trust Lacey. I don't like how she talks to you. I don't like her voice. Lexi Lee said Drake probably paid Michelle's debt. Right. He's a billionaire. Girl, he is a billionaire. If he did, I'm not mad. Get that debt paid however you need, Michelle. She was smart to do it because she gets her part of the debt paid, but Jesse still has his part. She was smart to do that because Jesse would have never paid it. 1,000% Lacey wants to be on TV and is faking how she is. Right. You went from suing these people to just, I'm pro girl. Like, girl, bye. We see through the BS, Lacey. And I see why they declined you for reality TV, because she's not, like, I'm not saying she's not likable, but I don't think her personality is out there enough for, like, reality TV. I just don't. Zero chemistry between Lacey and Jesse. Okay, I'm glad y'all see what I be seeing, because I haven't seen one scene of Lacey and Jesse where it seems like she looks forward to, like, being with him, kissing him, doing anything with him. Like, not one. Not one. Fibeck said Lacey is giving wannabe reality star energy, and it's a no from me. Not everyone is meant to be the main character. That's it. I think that was a beautiful way to say it. It's really that simple. I don't have much bad to say about Lacey. It's just watching her, I see why they declined adding her for the Housewives. Like, not everybody has main character energy. It's a fact. And that's okay. It's okay to be regular. Hell, I'm regular. Vivek says, what happens when a reality TV wannabe and a super fan end up on the Valley? You get a whole lot of trying too hard, messy drama, and secondhand embarrassment. That's right, Janet. Just saying. Just saying. But yeah, it was a lot. And Jesse did actually stir up some issues. Lacey was definitely correct in that. Part of those issues was with Kristen and Luke, because Kristen goes and tells Tom to go downstairs, which I thought was the funniest thing. Because Tom just does this. Schwartz just does as he says. And, you know, Kristen was with Tom Sandoval first. So she probably been telling Schwartz to go and mind his business for years. But she talks to Luke and mentions she heard that there's a possibility of no marriage. And Luke explains that no, like, if we were to get married tomorrow, like, I would not be looking forward to it because we're just not in that place. I respected him for being honest. I didn't feel like he was the rudest, but he, you know, Kristen asked why he gave her a ring if you don't want to get married. And he's like, I never said I didn't want to be with you. He pretty much explains like she hasn't been hearing his side of things and he's sick of it. And he just wants his feelings to matter. Or at the very least, it sounds like Luke doesn't want to hear that he's a bad dad just because he doesn't do what Kristen needs right when she needs. He explains his feelings and apologizes, but he said to her, he was like, it just seems like you just recently figured out that things are bad for you. And at the same time, things are also bad for me. And then he's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I was an asshole. I'm sorry. I love you. I want to be with you. And then just walks away. And I know a lot of people will overanalyze it, but I think a lot of people are not being graceful. And I think a lot of people also have their own toxic relationships and probably shouldn't comment if I'm being honest, but I think they'll be okay. I do think Kristen and Luke will be okay. I appreciate them for sharing the struggles of being new parents, because one of the first things I learned when I was in a clinical counseling program for psychology, when learning about marriage and family therapy, was like, one of the biggest reasons couples end up in therapy is because of kids, or when they're introduced. Kids make your relationship harder. That's why they want you to, you know, have the marriage before the kid. It's not just about God, unless you're a crazy Christian, but like, it really does set you up more for success, because a kid can make it difficult for even the most compatible of people. I feel like they're just having new parent blues, I'll call it. And yes, Kristen can be harsh, but as she said to Jesse, she was like, I have a psychiatrist, I see a therapist, I go to my classes. Like, they're doing the best they can with what they got in their new parents. So I don't want to judge their relationship during this time, if that makes sense. Let me know if y'all disagree, because it's totally fine to disagree with me, because I don't be right about this shit. I don't know these people, but I do sense that they like each other. I do sense that they love each other. It seems like they have a friendship in their relationship. I just think they're going through a hard time. And it just so happens that they're on camera and obligated to be on a show. But that's all. I don't have much bad to say about them. Poor Schwartz, right? Schwartz was moved around that boat so many times. Even with Michelle and Lacey had they talk, Schwartz was like laid on Michelle's leg, sleep on the boat. I said, oh Lord. Schwartz must not have took Dramamine or put one of them seasick patches on. You have to do that when you get on a catamaran. You just do. He is obedient. That's how we know Katie was the problem. I'm sorry, not sorry. Because Schwartz does exactly what he said. He is the woman's dream husband in that he will do as he's told. Lord help us. Luke and Kristen, they do. They seem genuinely into each other, Lexi. I've always sensed that. And, you know, sometimes couples have a hard time. Just because I think it's important to remember when watching the show, couples can have a hard time, but that doesn't automatically mean they just gonna end up divorced. Like, marriage, relationships is up and down. You're not meant to feel like a Disney princess every day. And if you expect that, good luck. Good luck. Now, let me shout out the replay gang. Shout out to the replay gang, anyone watching when we are no longer live. Also, shout out to the people watching, whether you comment or not. I actually really appreciate it. I do hope that you consider liking the video. I am newly monetized. You can also hype the video should you choose. Regardless of what, I appreciate y'all for being here. So I just wanted to acknowledge y'all. So the next thing we see is Danny talking to Michelle. They're back on land at this point, y'all. And Danny and Michelle have a discussion, and he doesn't like the fact that Michelle allegedly said that he makes people uncomfortable. Because he's like, have I made you uncomfortable? And Michelle is like, no, you haven't, but other people you've made uncomfortable. And Danny said, for those that I've made uncomfortable, if they come and tell me instead of talking about me, he said, I'll apologize for it over and over again. That part, I appreciate it. Good job, Danny. Because if they feel a way, they need to tell you they feel a way instead of talking about you and disparaging your name, like behind your back. Like, they're defaming his name behind his back when they can just have a conversation with him. So I do feel he was right in that. And I'm glad he's willing to continue to apologize. But Michelle says that if she were him, she said to Danny flat out, she was like, I get where you're coming from. But she says, if I were you, I just wouldn't drink. And honestly, I agree. I don't understand why he continues to drink as people are attacking you this way. If you feel like people are attacking you and defaming you to make you look like an alcoholic and you know that you're not, then stop drinking around these people. Now, should you have to stop drinking just because of other people's BS? No, but it's the hand of cards that you were dealt. So you might have to do that for a little bit. And if they ask, Danny's not drinking, he's just sulking over there, then they're going to see, and you can let them answer at the reunion, because look how you act when I am drinking. Like, but the fact that he continues to drink, like, nobody can defend you, Danny. Not your wife, not me. Nobody can defend you. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Right. Or this, or try being a happy drunk, not a nasty one. But that's the thing. I don't think he has the ability to be a happy drunk. I think he has the ability to get pissed drunk and dance around. But I think if he hears no while drunk, he gets belligerent and unhappy. I don't think he can control himself when he drinks like that around this group. And that's why I say don't drink with them. Child, just don't drink. It's not hard. But he says that that Janet keeps talking about things that were resolved. And Nia came and kind of shut the conversation down. I don't like that. Listen, I understand Nia when she like comes and defends him against Lala and stuff, but I don't understand why she shut the conversation with Danny and Michelle down. Michelle has been kind of the one on the cast who I feel like will listen. I don't feel like she would attack Danny or do the most. They were having a productive conversation, and she seems like, yes, Michelle is clearly on Janet's side, but it does seem like she sees his point. And I'm glad that she finally said it. Then don't drink around this group if it's just that fucking big of an issue. But Michelle does go over to tell Janet to apologize to him. She was like, you need to apologize for those words that you said. And Janet was like, I can't. Michelle's like, well, you need to, because they weren't right. Like, you can say everything else, but apologize for saying that he SA'd someone, because that was not the case. You are putting your pain and your trauma onto some shit that has nothing to do with you, Janet. And that's the thing. And regardless of what happened to you for all SA victims, myself included, what happened to us does not give us the excuse and the right to disrespect or attack others, especially over some shit they didn't do to us. So I don't understand, Janet, why you're trying to say, I can't. Regardless of what, if you do something wrong, you should apologize. Just because somebody else has done something wrong doesn't take away the need for you to apologize, even separate from all of that. So the fact that Janet is not doing this is ridiculous. And it kind of confirmed that she mentioned what happened to her as a way to get out of being accountable, because her poor little clear tears was not working. They were not working. So now she's going to another direction. But at least Michelle tried to, play devil's advocate. At least she tried. She tried, child. Is Danny just being defiant for the sake of ego? I kind of thought that toward the end of the episode, Lexi, but he's really hard to read. I don't know why he's being defiant. Like, when he was already drunk in this scene, so I feel like, okay, maybe don't talk about stuff when drunk. It makes it harder to solve, but it's when he's sober and the fact he still chooses to drink. Or when he's tipsy and he chooses to go from tipsy to drunk. Or when he's drunk and he chooses to go from drunk to belligerently drunk. Like, I just feel like, is it ego? Or is he really just a lightweight that won't stop drinking? Like, now you're giving Janet's claims against you, you're giving them air and helping them grow. Like, you're watering her toxic ass plant and putting yourself in a pickle, Danny. Right. Just dance Mini Magic Mike. Right. That's what he gives. Guess what, Janet? We cannot like you. Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry for what happened to her, but on the show, she's been a bitch, and what happened to her has nothing to do with that. Because even before this issue of Danny came up, season 1, Janet was a bitch and gave hell to Kristen, was disloyal, and did the most. Also, when we saw Sheena say last season, hell of other people confirmed that Janet has been problematic outside of this. So it sounds like Janet's messy, regardless of what. It's just in this situation of messiness, she's going to blame that he's a man and she's so uncomfortable on that. Like, girl, bye. On the after show, he says everyone caused him not to get the cake Nia had. By the time he got to the hotel, she was asleep with the baby. Go to hell, Danny. You left your wife there. Your wife had a whole crash out. He didn't even go to check on his wife, and she defended him against all those people. I cannot stand him. No telling how long he kept drinking after everyone else left. Right. And you're at an all-inclusive. You could have kept drinking in your room, sir. You could have kept drinking in your room. I don't understand Danny. I really don't. And it's like, if he's doing this because I work hard, I've got kids. Nia also works hard and has kids too with you. And she's breastfeeding one of them, okay? She can't even drink the way she want to drink. So I'm sure this is just like an extra headache. Extra headache, right? Please miss us with the fake tears. Hot Mess Express. Now, Zach confronts Nia about the comments that Kristen allegedly made about them. And Brittany confronts it too. You know what? I'm going to just say this. It's interesting, Brittany, Zach, and Jasmine, that you guys do not like being called out for your drinking, as you heifers are calling out Danny for his drinking the whole time. This is the example of people who can dish it out but can't take it. Because that's all Brittany said. I don't like that, you said that about us. Zach, why would you say that about us? Y'all see how it feels now when someone says your drinking is problematic? Y'all are doing the same thing to Danny. You don't like it, don't do it to him. Bunch of hypocrites. Bunch of huge hypocrites, especially Brittany. Girl, you was snorting lines with Jax. You can't say nothing about nobody when your child wasn't getting the help he needed for his autism because you were snorting lines with Jax and taking shots. So please. And that is self-admitted by Brittany and Jax season 1. Please. My God. Lala said on the after show, if they drink and become assholes, she would have to call them out. But Lala, if you're sober, why not wait till they're sober to call them out instead of calling them out while drunk? I'm not wasting my time calling out nobody drunk. because they're already probably belligerent. And the fact that they're under the influence, they're not going to read it correctly. So it still doesn't make sense. Like Lala gets no excuse because she's sober. So every choice she makes, she's making with a clear mind. She gets on my nerves too. I just don't know why Lala is here. Somebody send Lauren back to Utah, please. Kristen does go for Janet a little bit. I'm just tired of Janet trying to act like she's holier than thou, because they come and they confront Kristen about her comments and she's like, Janet is twisting this into something it's not. And don't you guys find it odd that we're having a conversation and because she's being held accountable, she's texting you everything that's happening? Janet is stirring the pot. Now, Kristen, you should have stood on the fact that you did say that about them, because they do too much drunk. But at the same time, Kristen is also correct in the fact that Janet is stirring the pot and she knows what she's doing. She does this stupid face where she tries to look innocent, like she's so affected. It's like, if you're so miserable around these people and feel uncomfortable, why come on a trip that you knew was for his birthday? You came just to start shit. So Kristen was right in saying that Janet starts shit, but I feel like Kristen should have admitted to the comments she made about Brittany, Zach, and Jasmine, and they acted like they didn't make them comments. Now, at the table, Jesse mentions being sick of being blamed for things, and Lala came and chimed into the conversation that everybody was having at the table, which kind of annoyed me because, you know, she brings up Danny's drinking. Like, when you drink, things happen. People are uncomfortable. Danny's like, yeah, no shit, but I've apologized. Lala's like, don't talk to me like that, dog. Starts getting her black scent back, which is offensive to the black community, by the way. Lala just irks me, but she does all of that, and I'm like, okay. I feel like Danny lets Lala trigger him, and I feel like Lala is not triggered and just doing this for a moment. Lala doesn't know what the fuck happened. Lala doesn't know what the fuck happened. And last season, when Janet did all of this and went too far, Lala was the one who was saying, I believe on a phone call with somebody, I can't remember who, but Lala was saying last season before she was on the show with a phone call with somebody, comments about Janet being messy and stuff. Now suddenly you feel sorry for her, like, please, Lala. But I do think they trigger each other, but I think Lala is calculated in her triggering. I really think she's calculated. But, you know, she chimes into some shit that has nothing to do with her. Nia comes in because the conversation was getting heightened and she was like, ignore her, it's your birthday. And I just realized it's her birthday and their anniversary. And I'm like, y'all are coming at him on his birthday. You can't let him not drink. Like, it's his birthday. To the people who are uncomfortable, go away. Like, Janet, why did you even show up? Doesn't make any sense. But Lala ends up walking away from her and was like mentioning her sobriety. What do you want, a pat on the fucking back? Go to a meeting for that. Like, nobody cares, Lala. Nobody cares. Talk about you're sober. You never even admitted to being an alcoholic. She still says to this day, I was a different person when I drink. Are you going to say that you're an alcoholic? Because I'm also a different person when I drink, but I don't go to AA. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe you're right, AB. Maybe production did have her stir the pot. But the night pretty much went to hell because for whatever reason, this group gets upset at a wife for defending her husband. And, you know, Nia ends up in front of Lala. You know, they kind of go back and forth because Nia is like, you are talking to him and I don't understand it. Talk to me. And I'm the same way. Ain't no bitch gonna argue with my man, because it's not fair for a woman to just be starting shit with a man. Because if they yell at us, we could, oh, he yelled at a woman. If they curse at us, oh, he cursed at a woman. If they do too much or get aggressive, it's, oh, you did this to a woman. So I always tell my husband, you have a problem with a bitch, you call me. Don't even address her. Difference is my husband doesn't get belligerently drunk and will listen to me. Danny does not. But, you know, Nia was trying to defend them, and Danny said, why don't you go to your husband, Lala? And he did touch a nerve because Lala was mad as hell. It was like telling me to go to my husband. Lala smiles also when Nia gets upset and breaks down and calls them terrible people. And I wish Nia didn't break down, but I do understand why she broke down. You're going through all of this, battling these bitches, Lauren from Utah. off of some stuff that she didn't see because of some shit that Janet started. You have to be around because you're contractually obligated to be around these people. And your husband is proving their point while also disrespecting you all at the same time. And she's breastfeeding. So I'm not surprised that Nia kind of melted afterward. But Nia going back and forth with Lala, I think Lala has gotten away with kind of getting in people's face and being aggressive with her fake ass black scent on Vanderpump Rules, even now on this show. But Nia's from round the way because Nia got right in her face right back, and Lala did eventually stand down, which is exactly why Nia got in front of her. I know a lot of people don't like that, but why would Danny argue with Lala? Why is Lala trying to argue with the man sober? Like, doesn't make any sense. Lala, you're the one person who should not be speaking. If Janet and Danny were going back and forth, I would probably feel different and be okay with it. But Lala, you just got here. You have nothing to do with this. You don't understand the dynamics of stuff. Instead of being worried about trying to push the narrative that Janet has for Danny, why don't you push the narrative of what the fuck happened with Randall Emmett? Because your husband was a Harvey Weinstein part 2, allegedly. So I just kind of feel like they let Lala get away with a lot. You so upset about this, but you were sleeping with a man and have a baby with a man who essayed women for real, unlike Danny. And you don't have nothing to say about that, but you coming at Danny Bucco? Lala, please. Because if anybody digs into her relationship with Randall, she wouldn't have a pot to piss in. Please. Cannot with her. Absolutely cannot. Let me get the comments before we move forward. Lexi says Lala is just inserting herself into Danny's business for a storyline. She doesn't even know Danny and Nia like that. Exactly. Thank you. Lala knows Schwartz, Kristen, and Brittany. That's it. There's no one else here that she connects to. So I want her to just cut it out, please. Why did they accept Danny's apology if they didn't really accept it? I think they did accept his apology. I think they're doing this for a storyline because they don't want to talk about their own lives. I genuinely think they accepted his apology because if they were truly uncomfortable and had fear of being SA'd, they would go to production and they would not film with them. But they keep coming around, indicating that they ain't got no problem. They need to move Lala to the Mormon Wives of Mom Talk. They can't. She's not a wife. Lala did the exact same thing Nia is doing for married man Randall. Right. Y'all out there who's upset at Nia for defending her husband, at least she's defending her husband. There's bitches out there like Lala who was defending somebody else's husband. Because let's not forget that Lauren from Utah was dating Randall while he was married to somebody else. And then the same karma came around back on her. And now she's suddenly, I'm for women, I'm for this. You wasn't when you was fucking that man's wife. So please. I remember the earlier seasons of VPR. He just bought me a Range Rover. I got here on his private jet. And he was married. She didn't want anyone to know who he was for that reason. So please, Lala. Please. Ridiculous. But Lala was smiling evilly because she's happy she caused all this problem. And Nia left, had a breakdown. Kristen was a true friend to her, which I appreciated. The scene of Nia crying, though, when Kristen was trying to calm her down, like when someone has to say, hey, forget about the cameras. It's Kristen and Luke. It's Kristen. It's just Kristen. Like, it's time for your friend to leave the show. Nia can step down and just be a friend of who is around because no disrespect. If y'all go back to my reviews from season 1 and the first half of season 2, I've kind of felt like Nia and Danny did not mesh with this group, separate from the alcohol problem. And then separate from that, I had felt earlier on with Nia and Danny like they were boring and could have just been friends of. They only became this popular because of Janet and Jasmine and them giving life to this issue. But I've always kind of felt like they don't need to be on the show, and specifically with Nia, because y'all remember before she had the baby, her storyline was, I don't like my body. I hate my body. And I was kind of bored by that. It was relatable, but I was bored by it. I want them to leave the show. I want them to leave the show or demote themselves because I don't think they'll ever be able to have like a good, solid or fun time with the entire group. But as a friend of, they could be more selective in where they show up for the group. And if it does that, it'll force them to talk about something else because there's no storyline outside of Danny and Nia. If you remove them from this group, what's going to happen? Who they going to attack? So I do kind of want them to leave the show, especially if it's stressing Nia out like this. And it seems like this group pushes them to argue in their marriage. If something pushes your marriage to art, like pushes you to have arguments with your husband, like this is what they mean by doing the work in your marriage. Like sometimes you have to prioritize your spouse over people. Like I've ended friendships over people that could not respect my spouse. Sure in the fuck have, and I do it again. Like I will remove myself and not go around certain groups, people, family members, if I know that how they act will stress me out and cause issues with me and my partner. So I do hope that Danny and Nia like leave the show or stop dealing with these people, because I do believe they truly believe these people are terrible people. But the group ends up pretty much leaving them on the bus. Janet was trying to make everything more based on SA, but again, Janet, what happened to you was terrible. You did not deserve it. I stand by that. But Janet, your assault has nothing to do with the situation with Danny at all. And if you think it does, go to therapy. You don't have the right to be coming for him. I don't want to hear nobody say shit about Danny except for Jasmine or Melissa, the people who were actually touched by him when he was drunk. If they're not them, to be quiet, because the audience will pick up on stuff. As we've talked about how he talks to his wife crazy all season, the audience will pick up stuff and hold them accountable. But them doing too much, trying to take him down, makes them look less credible. But Danny left his wife, the whole group. He stayed down there alone drinking. And the episode ends once again with Danny turning on his wife when she defended him. It's ridiculous. It's like, Daniel, she's on your side. She's literally on your side. Like, why are you doing my girl Nia like this? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But that was it in the episode. Let me get through these comments. Remember when Lala said she gives BJs for PJs on the exactly. Lexi, you a day one. Lexi's a day one VPR fan. I love that. I love that. She did say that confidently. And she got something to say about how Nia's being a wife. Lala, you are a high-priced side chick. Be quiet. You wish you could be a wife. We do remember, we do. She could never be a voice of reason for me. Yep. Lala, Janet, and Brittany can go off this show. DM Rocks, I agree with that. We don't need Lala. She doesn't mess and should not join. Janet is insufferable, and her husband I'm sorry. He reminds me, he gives bitch. I'm sorry, he just does. And Brittany, we only tolerated you because of Jax. Without him, we don't want you. You're a liar, and you probably have the same problems as Jax. You just make it show differently. So I thoroughly agree. If they get rid of Janet, Lala, and Brittany, the show would be okay. Just add a couple friends of and show these guys having a fun time. Maybe we get to see more of Jasmine and Melissa, more of Zach and Benji figuring out their story. Like, there's storylines on this cast, but these three people that DM Rocks mentioned will always make sure that the spotlight is on other drama. They're never going to share their own stuff, and they take things too far. Me neither. She's out of touch with reality, Lexi. Oh, damn. Hey, Kiwan. Kiwan said, wait 1 second. I'm listening to your review. How many seasons has this show been on? Because these people are crazy. This is season 3 of The Valley. It is a spin-off of Vanderpump Rules, the original Vanderpump Rules, not that reboot bullshit they tried to put on TV a couple months ago. So some of these people are from Vanderpump, some of them are just their friends, but it's crazy, but it's a headache. It's crazy, but it's a headache. Thank you for answering her question. Danny and Nia sound like Marceau and Tisha. That's actually a really good comparison. The only difference I would say is that there's more love. Like Marceau and Tisha, their relationship is dead. Danny and Nia are good when he's sober, from what I can see. Danny is forever embarrassing his wife, right? And himself. God, and his kids. Not you was under a rock. She said the rock I was under. She trying to understand. That be me and your reviews, Kiwan. I be putting on reviews to at work, letting them play, listening to you. I'd be like, oh my God, I need to get on these apps. Oh Lord, I used to like Lala when she defended Ariana at the season 10 reunion. But when she came back next season and started liking Tom, yeah, Lala's always been wishy-washy. She's always been wishy-washy. That's why Katie spoke about Lala on the Valley, Katie Maloney. And, you know, Katie was she was dreadful to watch on TV. I just don't think she was for reality TV. But Katie makes a lot of good points about this friend group. And I feel like we all need to listen to her more. I do. They are filming the Valley Persian style right now. And they said Reza and his husband left filming because of MJ's ex-husband. I do cover the Valley Persian style as well, you guys. I didn't do lives last season because it was new. I didn't get the most views, but I will definitely be covering the Valley Persian style once it is back. I'm hoping it's better. But I'm like, y'all left because of Tommy? Like, what happened? I can't wait to watch that DM Rocks. Marceau does the same thing. Yeah, he does. He does, actually. He just got arrested probably for being drunk and acting a fool. DM Rocks, I believe Lala only defended Ariana for the airtime and storyline. Lexi, you might be like me in that I always question how genuine Lala is. Ever since it came out who Randall was, I was like, I can't trust her. Lala is a pit bull to help herself. Right. She paid for that baby through surrogacy and that sperm donor, and she's trying to find a way to cover that cost, okay? Lala, Brittany, and Janet sound very familiar, like the evil on Potomac. Kiwan is clocking it today. They do kind of give Giselle, Robin, you know, the Messies on Potomac, and Ashley Darby. They definitely give that. I'm hoping it's better this season as well. I like those people. That's the thing. I was a little bored watching the Valley Persian style because I think I was comparing it to my expectations I had for Shots of Sunset. But I didn't dislike anybody on the show, if I'm being honest. The only one, I can't remember her name. What is her name? She was married to that older man, the rich one who looked down on everybody. I can't remember half of the cast name, but only one of them got on my nerves. But I like everybody on the cast of the Valley Persian style, genuinely. So I'm hoping it's a better season. Sometimes people struggle season 1 and it gets better. I kind of felt that way about Salt Lake City. As a series, I felt like they struggled and then they found their way like after season 2. But yeah. Ariana was MVP on that reunion, reading Tom and Raquel. She was. And Tom and Raquel, well, Tom is like, he keeps trying to do stuff in the media, but he doesn't really do too well. And I ain't heard nothing of or about Raquel because that was crazy. That scandal was crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Tommy is an angry bird who don't shower and is musty. Kiwan, did you watch the Valley Persian style? She said an angry bird that don't shower and is musty. I agree. I like the fighting. Gigi is a mess. Yeah, Gigi, that's my girl. I don't know what it is, but I love me some Gigi. Because when I tell y'all that Gigi is Mrs. Best if I were to go on TV, okay, that is me with a blunt, a pre-roll, and an attitude and a temper. That's why I say I'm not meant for television. I love Gigi because at least with Gigi, you know what you're getting. Like, this lady is the same from years ago when we had Shaz to today. People have met her off camera and she appears to be the same. I was in Vegas and got the opportunity to meet her. I went to some restaurant and she was there. Pauly D and Nikki were there and like some other celebrities, but I got to meet her. She was very, very nice and she was very, very high. And she did smell like marijuana and wonderful perfume. And I was here for it. He plucks my nerves, not plucks your nerves. Not as slow and methodical. I love Gigi. So we all love Gigi. That's really what keeps me watching is Gigi. Reza gets on my nerves. I'm up and down with him. MJ, I'm up and down with her as well. But I do love me some Gigi. Scandal made Ariana a millionaire. Okay, a multi-millionaire. Tom was trying to fight her for that house. I love that she stayed on his ass even through her success because the house just a couple months ago just got sold that she had with Tom. Like, I love that she stayed on his ass to get her parts of stuff out of the property. And now she's the host of Love Island. Okay. She's got commercials and brand deals. She's a bigger star. Sheena Shea is somewhere in shambles. Never trust people who are like Sheena Shea. When your friends have success, you should be proud of them. Sheena seemed jealous. She just did. I didn't get asked to do Dancing with the Stars. She knows that was my job, my dream. I said, Sheena, please. All you got to do is congratulate your friend. My God. I love her as well. She makes the show. Yeah, Gigi, without her, I don't think anyone would watch the Valley Persian style. Emmy nominated. Okay. Oh, you watched Shaw's. Okay, yeah, I loved Shaw's of Sunset. I didn't understand why they got rid of it when they did. Loved Shaw's. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And she shows up on a lot of random shows. Ariana is that girl. I loved her on Vanderpump Rules also because she was just unapologetically herself. Hi, Cece. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I'm happy to see you. Oh, no, it's not my birthday. My birthday was in May. It was the title of the episode. It's not my birthday. Thank you, though. Sheena is back slinging drinks for LVP. LVP don't like her. They say that's part of why she's not on this show. Sheena wrote a book and she aired out a lot and said a lot about people in that book, and people are not happy about it. So in some ways, I low-key feel like Sheena may have blacklisted herself, which is unfortunate because isn't her baby daddy like a Australian bum? Like he's like an absentee dad or something. But I don't know. I never expected much from Sheena, considering that she ended up on Vanderpump Rules because she was sleeping with Eddie Cibrian while he was married to Brandy. So I'm like, I never really saw it for her. No, she isn't. She trashed her. Yeah, she trashed her in that book. LVP has said that she wants nothing to do with her, which is crazy. Why would you trash LVP when she helped you? I don't know why her name is spelled like that. Kiwan. I've always wondered why Sheena's name is spelled that way. But yeah, she did burn a bridge. She's not smart. She burnt the bridge trying to be relevant. But that's what a lot of us did not like about Sheena. She was so focused on just being relevant in the moment. Like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Y'all, but that was it for my review of The Valley. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm not feeling well. I'll be back on camera next week. I swear, I swear, I swear. Some things and announcements for the channel. I will be covering a bunch of new shows at the end of this month. And I do mean a bunch. Shani, who's not here right now, she has requested that I cover Little Singles. It's a show about little people who are dating. And then I'm also going to be covering a 50 Cent. He has a new show. For those familiar, I do cover Power Book 3, Raising Canaan. I'll be covering the Power Books. But 50 Cent has a new show called Fightland that's going to be premiering on Stars. So I will be covering that. There is a show on OWN, the Oprah Winfrey Network. It's called Put a Ring on It. Cheat Hab. I will be covering that. I am also going to be covering Married at First Sight. So if you watch any of these shows, I will be getting reviews out to you guys for them. I am going to be trying to get into more scripted shows and things of that nature. We will be back live on Saturday. I'm going to go over Love After Lockup. I'm also going to do This Is Polly. And on Sunday, I'll be doing a live with Kiwan JTV, Shayna _MCD TV, and James, aka Watch Your Mouth Reviews. We will be going live to rant about the polygamist because we are all triggered. And so we just gonna go on a rant. I can't even call it a review. We just gonna rant about how raggedy that Negro was. But that is all I have for today. Love and light to everybody. Shout out to the replay gang. She was telling the blog, she was also going to the blogs telling on everybody. Who Sheena? She was. You're welcome, Lexi. I'm always happy to see you in here. I appreciate you being here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for moderating, American Born. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, you'll be watching Fightland. I love it. Y'all, P-Valley, I said I'm going to cover that too, but Stars been playing with me. Okay, Stars is just putting the tip in, talking about P-Valley is back in 2026. Y'all motherfuckers know it's July. There's not much of 2026 left. Come on, Stars. Come on. By the time they come back on TVs, Mercedes going to be climbing the pole from the wheelchair. She's going to be using that lift to get up that pole. They better come on with it. I enjoy Put a Ring on It also, Kiwan. I've been really scared to cover it. I've been telling James since we started our YouTube channels, I want to cover Put a Ring on It, but I'm scared. And now I'm just kind of like, let me just jump into things and try it. I'll never overcome my fears if I don't. So I'm going to try it. Thank you. It's cold as hell in the Bay Area. And I'm convinced that's why I'm sick. Makes no sense. But I love all of you guys. I hope everybody's having a good week thus far. Anything you want me to cover, send a DM, leave a comment. I always take suggestions. Do not forget to go to Kiwan J TV's channel tomorrow. I'll be sharing the live for you guys to watch, but she is going to be doing her first interview with Alicia from Life with Alicia TV and Black Girls Den podcast. Be sure to tap in. Kiwan will also be covering Put a Ring on It. I am happy to see that. Don't be scared to invite me on a review, Kiwan. Don't be scared. Because I feel like at some point they're going to stress us out. But love and light to everybody. I will see you guys for the next review. I hope y'all have a good day. Shout out to the replay and au revoir.